Are you ready?
Oh, yeah!
Strap yourselves in for the Gaming Hub. With your hosts, Tyler.
You can't handle the truth!
Graham.
The force is strong in this way.
And Steven.
You cannot be serious!
Let's get started.
Alrighty then.
Hey everybody, welcome into the Gaming Hub. This is episode number 159. I'm your host Tyler, saying thank you so much for joining us. And I'm here with our co-host, minus Steven this week, who has a prior commitment. But I'm here with Graham. Graham, how are you doing?
I'm doing quite well, thank you. And yes, in Steven's absent, I'll try to be the real negative one. No, he's gonna be missed, obviously, but other than that, I'm doing good. I definitely got into a game that I've wanted to play for a while, and I just I don't know if I'm gonna buy it, but then I went on a splurge and I bought it, and that game was Mortal Kombat 11. Now, before I got into it, because basically I had to download and all that stuff, and so I watched a video on how Mortal Kombat 10 ended, because I had that game when it first came out, which was, I don't know, a year ago, maybe even more, 2 years. I don't even quite remember. But I'm like, I don't really remember how it ended. So I watched that, and then I got into the game, and I didn't stop playing till I was over 50% done the story. I don't know how many hours that was, but I put in a lot of hours. And I am enjoying it. I'm glad I decided to get it. The story's been great so far. It's kind of got this Avengers kind of thing going on. I won't say any more than that, but it was kind of reminding me of Avengers-esque. But no, it's great. I'm definitely not on no level to be competitive or playing online, although I did play some online matches and I might have won, but I didn't dominate or anything like that. I think he was just as bad as I am. I think it was just a matter of who was more worse than the other one, and he was worse than me. But yeah, no, the game is fun. I'm not quite sure about the fatalities, how it works in the story mode. I don't know. Maybe that's not a part of the story mode. Like I said, I'm a little rusty with it. But yeah, that game's been great. Played a little bit of Overcooked 2, the new DLC, and I played a little bit of Trivial Pursuit. But definitely going to get back to Mortal Kombat. I did play a little bit more, and I'm probably 3/4 way through it. So one more session, and I'll be done. And then maybe I'll take it online. We'll see.
Cool. Yeah, Trivial Pursuit's always fun, man. I know we talked about one of the last couple episodes, but yeah, I always enjoy that. I've actually had a chance to play quite a bit of stuff last week or so. Played some Sea of Thieves again, so continuing to play that on a pretty regular basis now, having a good time with it, continuing to level up, working towards that, Pirate Legend level, where you can go start to do some of the other stuff. We did try to do one of the quest lines or whatever, and it just didn't get very far and ended up kind of rebooting and just doing regular stuff. Anyway, then we had a community event that I put together and Steven helped with. I'm just kidding. Steven's listening to this, and I guarantee he's screaming at the radio right now.
I can hear him.
I know. So, no, Steven was nice enough to put that together. Did a great job with it. We played Jackbox with some of our community last Saturday and had an absolute great time. It was a blast to play. And I'll tell you, some of y'all have some interesting imaginations. I'm just going to put it that way. And we'll call it that. You have some very interesting and creative imagination. So, but no, it was a lot of fun. And it's a chance to get to know you better. It's a chance for you to get to know us better, not just what you hear on the show. So I think it's really cool. And we're definitely going to continue to do those. So thanks again to Steven for putting that together. Also, I played a little bit of Jeopardy. And staying with that game show theme, right? And, well, I mean, it's hard, though, not to when there's so many achievements in these games that are 150 points a pop, and they're not that hard to get. So I think I have to play one more game of it to unlock another 150 pointer. So, but it's been pretty fun. I mean, it's just nice to waste time with that stuff. But the other game that I've gotten back into is Doom. And as we approach E3 now, we're just 3 weeks from tomorrow, Graham.
Yeah, wow.
We'll be arriving in Los Angeles for E3. So as we approach E3 and we start to see some of these games that we're going to want to see there, like Doom Eternal,
Yep.
games like that. And it's making me go back and play some of the first iterations like Doom, and we're gonna start getting into Dying Light a little bit here in the next week, to just as a refresher on that. So as we see the second one, we're able to sort of compare and contrast and see what's different, what's new, what's better, and where they kind of gone with the vision since the first one. So going to be doing that as well. And we'll continue. I'm planning on just kind of continuing with those games. Not going to take on too many others right now. I'm avoiding Rage 2, not because it's bad, just because I don't want to add another game to the backlog at the moment.
Yeah, no, same here. I totally understand that.
So, and we've had, to be honest, we've had a little bit of mixed feelings on it in the community. And some people like it, some people do not. And honestly, some people that I really expected would love it haven't, which is sort of interesting. So, I think that's a game, though, where I'm going to get just as much out of it if I play it, 5 months from now on sale as I do today. So
yeah, no, I agree as well. Like when it first came out, or well, not came out, but it was introduced, I was excited for it. But I'm to the point, I'm like, okay, if I buy this, who knows how much I'm going to actually play it, especially when I have this huge backlog. And I just said I bought Mortal Kombat 11, so haven't been really strict on my not buying, but I'm going to stick to my guns on this one for now, anyways. For now.
Yeah. So, same here. And I don't anticipate buying a lot of new stuff until my mind gets changed totally at E3.
Yes, I know. When we see it at E3, we're like, okay, buying this, I'm buying this, I'm buying this.
Yeah.
I'll just pre-order like 8 things.
Yeah, as soon as they're like, and this is out next week, or this is out today, or whatever, yeah, I'll just be buying crap left and right.
Those announcements. My wall will be like, no.
I know. So,
but no, not until next year.
Right? But no, we're looking forward to going, and it'll be a lot of fun, even though we got some sad news this week about a game that won't be there. We'll get into that once we get into news. But before we get into the business of the week, a couple things. First, promised Steven that we would do a breakdown of the baseball series that took place this week. Very quickly, everyone, I promise. Between his favorite team, the Angels, and my favorite team, the Twins. And I will tell you that, in 3 games, the complete domination that was seen on the field.
3 games.
Yep. Well, 2 out of the 3, but the 2 made up for the one that was completely unfair. Okay. But it was such a level of domination that, man, it's something that you haven't seen in quite some time.
Wow.
And yeah, it's the Twins hit better, they pitch better, they fielded better, and the Angels just felt fortunate to be there, and be taking part. So, it was fun.
So from all this statistics and all this jargon you're saying, it sounds like I'm not a big baseball expert and all that stuff, but it sounds like the better team won, clearly.
Yeah, very clearly. And we'll be interested to hear Steven's take on that.
Which I'm sure we will.
Very soon, I'm sure. So, but anyway, it was a good series, and the Twins did take 2 out of 3. So I'm very thankful for that, because I would never hear the end of it if it had gone the other way.
You're more excited for that reason than actually your team winning.
I'm more excited to have quiet time than anything else. But yeah, other thing, Graham, and we're not going to get into spoilers or anything like that, but there's an event coming on TV on Sunday night that has
huge,
and it's being looked forward to by a lot of people for a long time. And of course, it's none other than WWE's Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
Yes.
I'm kidding. It's Game of Thrones series finale.
I'm like, oh, is that what we're talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I think fans might have a debate as to which one of those two has better writing right now.
Yeah, that is true.
I don't know, but give me a prediction, Graham. Who's sitting on the Iron Throne, if there is an Iron Throne?
Okay.
At the end of it. Who's ruling the 7 kingdoms?
I still think it's going to be John.
Okay.
But I know people, like I've read a lot of articles. I'm avoiding the spoilers because I hear the
Mm.
spoilers are out there, and people are like, what Game of Thrones has to do is have Jon Snow die. So I'm like,
Mm.
I don't know about that, but
Yeah, I don't know. But for me, I said it before. I'm gonna stand by it because I got made fun of mostly by Steven. Well, we're having a good time with him because he's not here. But I said I think Bran is gonna rule the Seven Kingdoms at the end, and I'm gonna stand by it. Will it happen? Probably not. But
yeah, I agree with Steven. I'll
Huh?
say that when he's not here. I won't say that when he's around.
So yeah, I do. I think there's a good chance that they go that way. Otherwise, just having Bran just be there this season doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
He hasn't done a whole lot. But anyway, we're not going to get into that. We have a whole other special side show that we do for that to talk about Game of Thrones. So, all right. We'd love to have you join our community. And there's a couple different ways to do that. So you can go to Facebook, the Gaming Hub forums there. You can go to Twitch, TXH Gaming Hub, where we're broadcasting live right now, and join there. From either of those places, you'll get a link to our Discord where you can go take part in the conversation with the rest of our community. With E3 coming up soon, there's going to be a ton of conversation going on around video games and lots of other fun and ridiculous things that you will see when you get there. But also, before I get into that, we have a YouTube page, the Gaming Hub podcast on YouTube, and Twitter at TXH Gaming Hub. If you'd like to follow us there. If you'd like to support the community, we'd love to have you do that too. And a couple different ways. You can go to Twitch, like I talked about, TXH Gaming Hub, and if you're an Amazon Prime member, you get a free Twitch Prime sub to use every single month, and if you choose to spend that on us, we'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, you can sub to our Twitch channel and support us for as little as $5 a month. The other way is through Patreon, which is honestly the better deal if you're actually going to be nice and gracious enough to spend and generous enough, so where I'm looking for, to spend your hard-earned money to support our show and our community. But Patreon's the better option. Patreon doesn't take half of it. So there's that. And B, we got a chance to give you some really cool stuff in return just for supporting the community. So a few different options there. For as little as $2 a month, you get bonus content like bonus Game of Thrones episodes, like movie reviews. You're going to get a ton of content coming E3 time. All that type of thing. A lot. And for as little as $5 a month on Patreon, you get all of that plus at least one entry every single month, depending on which level you're at, starting at $5, to a Patreon exclusive giveaway for $60 in gift cards to the console of your choice. And we'd love to have you take part there. It's growing. We're growing. The community has really blown up in the last year. We've been so happy to see that. And we're excited about where we're going. Not just physically, Graham, to Los Angeles.
Yep, real soon.
But we're excited about where we're going figuratively with the show in the future as well. And I think that we're going to be able to provide a lot better content, different types of content, and really continue to grow here over the next 12 months. And as we head into 2020, make it the best year we've ever had. So, all right. Let's get into news.
In the news.
And Graham, I mentioned earlier that we heard of a game that's not coming to E3. And this one hurt me personally. It's the game I'm most looking forward to that was supposed to come out this year.
It did break my heart when I broke the news to you.
I know.
I thought of you when I saw it. Not in I'm going to make fun of you for it. I'm like, this sucks.
I know. And you remember my first response was very measured and mature.
Mm-hmm, yes. So mature.
So
we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. I may have said E3's canceled and we're not going anymore. Of course, I'm kidding. But
yes.
Skull and Bones is not going to be an E3 and was delayed again until at least April or May of 2020. So what we know is that Ubisoft had like an investor call. They said they've got 4 titles coming out between now and the end of their fiscal year, which is, I think, the end of April next year, maybe the end of March.
Yeah.
So we know Ghost Recon is one of those. We don't know the other 3 yet. I will bet you anything. Our E3 prediction show is going to be on June 7th when we're all together the first day in LA. But this isn't a prediction. I think this is kind of a given that Watch Dogs 3 is going to be one of those games. I know. You must be excited.
and surprised, too.
Are you?
No.
Okay.
I'm more surprised that
so.
they're keeping this franchise going. But I don't know.
Well, 2 was actually a pretty good game by all accounts.
Yeah, it seems to be getting better with each iteration. So, and
well, you couldn't get worse after the first. The first one was such a letdown.
Yeah,
and not necessarily that it was an awful game. It wasn't good, but they promised the world and dramatically underdelivered, and that is not a good recipe.
Well, it's kind of a common occurrence with some of these games where they're just over ambitious. Like they promise you all this right away. And then when we get it and it's not that, then they get backlash, which is deservingly so. Like, I think of one game, No Man's Sky comes to mind. Like, that was promised to be the greatest game ever and stuff like that. And then when it came out, it's like, it's not even what you said it would be. So, like, I see, like, Watch Dogs is very ambitious. Like, it's an interconnected world, and that, like, would demand a lot of like power in these games. Like maybe the system couldn't handle. I don't know, but it'd be exciting to see where the third one goes with next gen consoles or current gen, like whenever it comes out.
Yeah, I think it's a guarantee now that this game is going to be a next gen game, right? I mean, there's you got to think that if you delay it this far, you're just going to say let's just put it out on the next generation of consoles.
Yeah.
And that'll let them have the time to make it as good as they want it to be. They'll have the tech to make it as good as they want it to be. And I think it's best of all worlds. I remember being just absolutely bummed beyond belief when like South Park got delayed.
Oh, yeah.
And then again when the next South Park got delayed numerous times. Remember, Graham, I pre-ordered...
And Division. How many times was the Division delayed?
So the first one, yeah.
Yeah.
You remember, Graham, I pre-ordered South Park, The Fractured Butthole in 2015.
Wow.
Was it 15 or was it 16? I think it might have been 16. It was our first E3 as a podcast. I pre-ordered it there because it was supposed to come out that fall. And I got it more than a year after I pre-ordered the game. And back then, you paid for it when you pre-ordered it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I had spent that $60 for, like, 14 months before the game came out. Or actually more than that, 16 months, I think. But, yeah, it's, the thing that's in common here is Ubisoft. What I've learned, though, the other game I was heartbroken about was Red Dead 2. Because that was supposed to come out an entire year before Dead. But what I've learned since then is, A, we don't want these poor people to be, like, worked to death, 100-hour weeks. We've learned a lot more about the gaming industry and just how it works on the inside, starting with a book that we talk about a lot on the show, Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. And then on top of that, just all the stories that have come out, things like that, about what actually goes on in these studios. Nobody wants that just to play a game a little bit earlier. 2, we've seen too many times where a game gets rushed, Graham, and it's just not good. It's broken. It's all these things. I think, for example, Fallout 76 could have really benefited from having another year. But, I think in that case, they didn't have anything coming out that fall, so they needed something to drive some revenue for them.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's what we don't want. So let's, as somebody who's really, really excited for Skull and Bones, I'm disappointed, but at the same time, I get it. Take the time you need to make a great game. But if you delay it 3 times, because this is the second time now that they've delayed it significantly?
Yeah, I think so.
So, because this game was originally supposed to come out last fall. But now, if you delay it this many times and the game comes out and it sucks, I think it's fair game for us to call them on that. I just do.
With what you said before, you're saying this is a next-gen release as well?
Oh, yeah. I think there's no way this won't be at this point. It has to be.
Yeah.
Like, why would you delay it and then put it out on the Xbox One and the PS4?
But, like...
when the new consoles are coming out.
You could do, like, the cross-gen where it carries between the two.
Yeah, you can. I just don't want it to be like the thing where it's just ported for the next gen and it just has next gen graphics, but not anything that next gen can really power behind it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want it to be an Xbox One game that's just upscaled and visually for the Xbox Two or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
You know, if that makes sense. So,
No,
take,
it does make sense for sure.
and what I've heard about this game has been reported many times, and I really wanted to get hands on with it at E3, and it's okay that we're not, but there's no like going on islands and exploring islands in this game currently.
It's just all ship battles.
Yeah, it's all ship battles. So the only time you're actually on land is when you're at like a pirate hub where you go to like customize and do things like that. So I don't know how extensive and deep of a game you can truly make when the ship battles is kind of all there is to it.
Yeah, maybe that's a reason for the delay. Like,
Yeah,
who knows,
I hope
right?
so. I hope so. I hope it's designed to get it so that we can do some other things with the game, and maybe they tested it and played it themselves and just said, you know what, this is missing something. And I hope that's the case because I swear there are some studios that don't do that. But yeah, I mean, it sucks, Graham, but at the end of the day, it's probably the right move, yeah?
Yeah, no, like I would rather wait longer to have a game that's more finished or like doesn't have all these like real apparent holes in it because like I said, if this is your hard-earned money and you could be buying multiple games and you could be just buying this game, but no one wants to spend that kind of money and feel like they wish they didn't spend that money and then they can't get it back. Sometimes you can get it back, but for the most part you can't. So, yep, take your time,
Yeah.
get it right. I have a ton of other games to keep me occupied and
Yep.
busy and all that stuff. And if I need my pirate fill and sailing ships, I can play Sea of Thieves.
Mm-hmm. And really, there's only one franchise that Ubisoft just never really delays, and that's Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we see bugs sometimes, is in Assassin's Creed. A lot of their other franchises come out and they're great games. Exception of Watch Dogs. Maybe a couple others. But for the most part, though, the games are pretty good. So they know what they're doing and all that. And this is an ambitious new game. It's not like they're just building out something they've already done. I know there's rumors that they've taken a lot from like Black Flag in terms of ship combat. I don't know how much that's true or not. But this is an ambitious new thing. And sometimes ambitious is great and sometimes it's not, you know? So we'll see. Like, example, and this we're going to go completely off track here from our outline, Graham. Sorry.
You never do that.
Nope. But there's rumors out there about the new Halo game, Infinite, that Halo Infinite's going to be a shared world game a la Destiny.
Really?
Yeah. And there's nothing is out there to back that up yet. Really.
So if that does happen, I feel like it's going to be kind of like a Fallout 76 backlash kind of thing where
I'm worried about it.
Give the fans what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a franchise that they hold near and dear, and it, like, if you go and you just flip it upside down and change into something that they don't want, then you're going to get backlash. Bethesda did it, and that should be even something for you to learn from. It's like, okay, Bethesda tried to do this with Fallout because Fallout's a huge franchise, and then they put this online only, and I didn't even know what the sales numbers are, but I'm sure it's not good. It's something that I'm sure Halo would like to avoid.
Yeah, and I bet the sales numbers are okay for that game, but the retention numbers are not.
Yeah.
So
it's true because I bought it and I don't play it.
Yeah, same here. I have it. I don't play it at all.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, all right, let's move on. Happier news, Graham. Nintendo yesterday had a direct for Super Mario Maker 2.
Yes, they did.
And they introduced lots of new tools for designing levels. I'll let you get into those a little bit in a second. Talked about multiplayer modes a little bit. All that stuff. So break it down for us. Tell us what really kind of excited you. This game is not far away, by the way. It's coming out in the next month, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Talk about it. What's got you excited?
Well, first, I didn't realize it was that close. Like, when I saw it, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, that's like next month. But this direct had a lot of information. I forget how long it was. It was just over 20 minutes, I think. And there was no easing into it whatsoever. Like it was like, let's go, let's talk about it. So basically, when it opened up, it talked about the basics for people who didn't have it on the Wii U because nobody owned the Wii U. Basically, you have to go find a museum and borrow it. No, um, but yeah, then it came out with the 3DS, but it was lacking some features as well and stuff like that. So at the beginning, it showed you the basics, and then they're like, let's show what's new in it. So what's new in it is just so many more features. Like you can have little secret levels now. Like you can control like the scrolling of the screen, and there's vertical scrolling now. So if you have a sub area, and people are hinting like, okay, this could be hinting that Super Mario 2 will be like a level design. But that's basically the only one that's missing. They have Mario 1, Mario 3, Mario World, and then they have like 3D Mario. So they introduced slopes, which people wanted. Like I said, the water can raise at certain speeds and heights, and then you can do that with lava. And they have on and off switches, and those on and off switches could be used for like changing things on tracks. They brought a vehicle in it, so they've just added so much stuff, like an angry sun. And overall, this game looks so fun. Oh, another thing too, they have like a single player kind of aspect to it. So basically, you're not in there and you're like, I don't know what to do. I'm overwhelmed with all these options and stuff like that. And I don't know how deep that's going to be and how extensive it's going to be, but it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun for someone who like lacks the creativeness, like me, for example. Like I did make some levels on it for the Wii U, and I had a lot of fun playing it. But seems like now this is more designed for playing online with people. Like you can do multiplayer up to 4 players, co-op, where you're working together or you're like against each other, whoever finishes first. You can design a level together with a friend. I think it's only 2, but that's great because it will speed up the process. And like I said, it looks like it's going to be great for playing online, like competitive. Like I'm excited for it. Hopefully, we can get the community in on this, and we can design some levels, and we can play each other's levels. And at the end of the direct, there was kind of a surprise. They're actually introducing a voucher thing where you can pay $100 American, and you get a voucher for 2 games, and you don't have to use both vouchers at the same time, and you have a year. So basically, you can get it for Super Mario Maker 2, and we'll say maybe the Pokemon game. They didn't announce that. They think it could be an E3 announcement because that game is going to be there
Yeah.
big time, right? It's going to be a big part of it. But
Yep.
like for me, if it's kind of like for EA, not EA Access. What's the one? Game Pass.
I'm not sure. Oh, Game Pass. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of. Yeah.
Like
I mean, you're still spending $100. It's not,
yeah.
$10 and get a bunch of games. But yeah,
But like you can
it's a good deal.
justify,
Though.
but yeah, no, it's a good deal and like I said, Nintendo are really strict on their prices, especially with digital. I know you can go to secondhand stores and get a copy for cheaper and stuff like that, but when you get digitally, it's usually full price. So with this voucher, I think you save maybe like $40 on like 2, which that's not bad. So
Yeah.
I don't know, Tyler, does this give you any incentive? Do you have any?
Well, kind of. I have a question for you first, though. So,
Go ahead.
on a Mario Maker, do you see yourself doing a lot of building there, or do you see yourself more downloading other people's courses and playing those?
Okay, so I will do both. I'll probably more play other people's levels. And like they have like a ranking system as well, so it does entice you to make your own levels. And with that, you can unlock like things for your avatar and design them and make it unique to the way you want. So it seems like Nintendo was listening to what fans wanted and brought them that. And I know I missed a lot of features. I recommend people just go watch that Nintendo Direct. You're not going to be like watching videos, people snapping their fingers and dressing up in weird costumes and just doing strange stuff. It's all 100% Super Mario Maker 2 gameplay and design and what it has to offer. And it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I have the patience to do the building thing. I don't know how long it takes or anything like that. It looks fun. It's the type of thing that I would say looks really fun, and then I'll start doing it, and I'll just be like, I'd rather just be playing
Okay,
this game right now.
I'll tell you right now,
Yeah.
if I can do it, you can do it.
Well, I'm not saying I can't do it. I'm just
But
saying that I feel like I get to the point where I'm just like I'd rather just be playing it
yeah,
than building stuff for other people to play. I feel the same way about Forge and Halo. So it's not like a anti, Mario thing or anything like that. It's literally just those modes. And but for so many people out there, it gives them a chance to show their creativity.
yeah.
The Mario Championship they did, I think 2 years ago with Mario Maker, where they were using some of the hardest courses out there, and people were just blazing through this thing like it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's really fun. And they're doing another one this year, right? On the 8th, I think.
Yes.
So Saturday, June 8th, they're doing another one that'll be streamed for everybody to watch. So maybe we'll host some of that, or maybe we'll be hosting EA Play that day. I don't know. We'll see kind of how that day goes. But yeah, I mean, those events are really cool and things like that. For people that love that building aspect, great. I mean, just because it's not for me doesn't mean it's not great and that it shouldn't be in there,
Yeah, and like you don't have to make it like a certain length or certain that. Like you could basically just do a little bit. I can tell you,
Right.
Tyler. Like I did not spend a lot of time into designing, and I designed a few levels, and I had a lot of fun with it. And the thing is, when you design a level, you have to be able to beat it yourself for it to be uploaded. So you could spend a lot of time just trying to beat your own level. So it does give you a lot of that. But I'm definitely looking forward to people's creations. And I
Okay.
know that you can make some insane, crazy levels where you got to bounce on this block to bounce here, and you just because like I've watched some of those videos on YouTube, and I'm like, I would I would have gave up a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for the voucher thing, I think it's a great deal. The fact that you're not tied to games that are out right now, you can hang on to it for a year.
hmm
Use on anything. I think that's great. And I looked while you were talking, and Breath of the Wild on Switch is still $50, $40, a lot of different places. So,
Yep.
like, they don't put games on sale that much. So this is great. I love it.
Yeah, for sure. And like nobody knew that was coming, and it was just a thing that they put right at the end of the Nintendo Direct. And it's available like right now. It's not like coming because some people announce, oh, coming in July, and I'm like, why do you have to wait till July when this is something that
Mhm.
can be right now? And they made it right now. And they didn't announce it, didn't say, okay, it's available right now. But I went on my Switch and the option was there. And I saw in the forums somebody said they bought 8 already. I'm like, wow.
That's a lot. Wow.
This person's ambitious.
Yeah.
But hey, all the power to him.
But I will say, Graham, on one more thing on Mario Maker. One of my first reactions to it was something that I actually felt bad about. Because I normally hate when this type of reaction comes out. You know how when there's something announced, there's always some people out there that have the most negative reaction possible, right?
Yes.
So anyway, when they said like you can only play other people's courses if you have Switch Online, my initial reaction to that was, that's just it's very not Nintendo like over time,
Yeah.
But I stopped myself almost immediately, and I was just like, that's a really crappy way of looking at this. Because if I want to play anything multiplayer on Xbox or PlayStation, I need to have
The
PS
online
Plus or
service.
Xbox Live. Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If I want to use Madden like custom rosters or in MLB The Show custom rosters, I need to have the online service.
Yeah, and there's time
something that basic.
You can even use Netflix on Xbox Live or
Yeah.
on Xbox unless you
And
have
that,
Xbox Live.
and that was ridiculous. But
That was ridiculous.
and they thankfully fixed that. But yeah, I mean, for this though, it's a game that's for the platform, and it's something that you need online to do. So you should have Switch Online to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that because if I had that initial reaction, I promise some other people did too.
Yeah, and they also said that some of the levels that you can download and play them offline, like other levels people have made. So, like, say if I'm going to go travel somewhere and I could download a bunch of levels and I could just play like Mario levels like on the way. And the thing is, like, there's millions and like, I don't know about millions, but we'll say millions. There's millions of levels out there and stuff that you can try. So it's not like you get tired of it. And like, I played Super Mario World, and
Yeah.
I would play that game forever. That game was amazing, all levels and all that stuff. So this is like an endless Mario game.
hmm Yeah, and that's really cool. And it is my favorite, Nintendo franchise. So, good chance that I pick it up. If not to build, at least to play the crazy stuff people come up with.
You're gonna have to find your Switch,
So,
Tyler. You're gonna have to.
I know. I might try to find it for E3 because that's a nice, easy way I can bring a console with.
Yes, I'll be bringing my Switch for sure.
I'm not going to be bringing the Xbox with. I can tell you that.
There won't be no time.
I'm telling no, there won't. And that's the thing. Like when I traveled for work before, I would always pack the Xbox One. Always. Like I'd roll clothes around it. It would be like the centerpiece of the suitcase. And there'd be like clothes barricading on each side so it wouldn't get hurt. But yeah, I would always bring it. Hook it up in the hotel room. And that's what to do. I can stream Netflix off of it right to the TV. I can do whatever, play games, all that good stuff. But we're just not going to have time there.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, Graham, I don't know how many games we're actually going to play there. Because if you want to play something, say you want to play Mario Maker on the floor.
Yes.
Like if we have an appointment for it, cool. You'll get in and probably be able to do that. But if you just want to stand in line to play it, we'll see you later.
You guys aren't gonna wait and watch me?
Not for like 4 hours while you stand in line, no.
Well, I'm not gonna wait 4 hours. Not for Mario Maker 2.
What would you wait for? A lot of the bigger games have 5-hour waits. So what would you wait for 5 hours for this year?
If I had to pick one,
Yep.
maybe Cyberpunk 2077.
Okay, all right. That's fair.
Yeah.
Death Stranding?
No, not a chance.
You could have lied, Graham, and been like, I would have, but it's not going to be there.
Oh yeah, I would, but unfortunately, Tyler, Sony is not going to be there.
I know. So, Graham, just watch. That game's going to come out, and you're going to
joke about something that
that game's going to come out, and you're going to love it. You're going to give it like 20 out of 10. It's going to be the greatest game of all time. I can just see it already.
I don't even know what would make it the greatest game of all time. Like I don't even know.
Because like anytime anything about that game comes out, you just have this reaction of just like, ugh.
Yeah.
So
that's absolutely.
It's probably going to be really good. But, we'll wait and see. Yeah. I think the biggest problem is we don't really know what it's about yet.
No, and this slow drip is just driving me crazy. It's like, show me a little bit. And every time they like announce or talk about it, they're like, still have no idea what it's talking about. It's still like completely like abstract.
Yeah. This is the one thing I'll give Sony some credit for though, because that's what they would have done again this year if they had been there. They would have shown us a little bit more of each of these things and been like coming someday. And we all would have said, great, but when are we actually going to get it?
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling it would have turned into that sooner than later. Like, where fans are like, hey, it looks awesome. When are we actually going to get it?
There's still no excuse for Sony not being there. They can tell me all this. We don't have much to show, but I don't know. I'm not buying it.
They don't have to have a briefing. They can just be on the show floor.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I don't know. Anyway. All right. Speaking of Sony, Graham, let these words sink in.
Okay.
Microsoft and Sony are teaming up to work together.
No.
I know. On cloud streaming technology. So Microsoft is going to share its Azure. Is that how we say it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Azure.
We're butchering that, I'm sure. Apologies to everybody. Not a big PC guy. I like buying the console where everything's already put together and I'm good to go.
Yes.
But they're sharing that technology with Sony to use for cloud streaming services to just provide a more consistent quality experience across the board for gaming. And it's not like it's just Microsoft helping Sony. Sony's going to share things as well.
Yeah, they're working together. Yeah.
They're working together. Because Sony does a lot of things right that Microsoft doesn't do. And the first thing they could give them a class in is freaking PR for rolling out a new console. It would be time relevant too, by the way. That's coming. So, after the announcement, though, Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, VP of Xbox at this point, I think they call it, tweeted out, quote, excited about the opportunities ahead with Sony for us to pursue our mutual gaming ambitions and delight players around the world, end quote.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's a good thing. Whenever you get these companies working together, for the last 12 months, we've seen more of it than we've seen in the previous probably decade. And we've seen it with the controllers and ways to make gaming more accessible to people with disabilities. And we've seen it with Nintendo and Xbox sharing a lot of things and kind of involving each other. And we've seen it with crossplay. So, you know, and some companies have come kicking and screaming for crossplay, and others have come willingly.
Yep.
But, excuse me, we're seeing it happen more and more. So, thoughts, Graham? Like, where would you like to see this go?
Oh, this is amazing. And I know this is about their cloud streaming and all that stuff. And I don't know like a lot about it. Like most games I play is ones I've either downloaded or I own the physical disc. And I know you need a really good internet connection, which my internet connection is good enough. I know other people's aren't and stuff like that. But it is great that the two powerhouses are working together. Like, I don't know if this has something to do with Google Stadia coming out and this is their big competition now. So they're like, well, if I help you out and you help me out, maybe we can like help each other out and we can like be better than this Google Stadia. So I don't know. Like, I don't know who approached who. Like, I don't know if Sony was like, you know, could use a little help with this, and Microsoft seems to be doing this, so maybe. So I don't know who initiated, but it's great that it happened, and they're like, no, I'm not showing you like that stuff, right? So like, yeah, let's work together, and it's not like they're really like sharing what their main system is and all that stuff. It's their cloud services and stuff like that. So if they can improve each other's in that, then I'm all for it. And like I said, this kind of opens the door to cross-play, which people have been wanting for a long time. I keep seeing these shirts that people wear at these gaming things about trying to do cross-play. So I think the developers and like the console makers and stuff like that, they know this is what the fans want. Because if you can bring the whole community together, like instead of segregating the PlayStation, the Xbox, Nintendo's kind of in their corner doing their own thing, but they're trying to break the mold with their streaming as well, right? So if Xbox can stream Nintendo, then why can't PlayStation stream Nintendo? And one big happy family. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see PlayStation ever budging and really doing anything like Xbox is doing with putting like, you know, PSN on Switch. They won't. They're the ones that kind of want to stay on their own, do their own thing, and I don't blame them. They have a giant lead on everybody else, so why share and play nice? You know, this I think though is different. It helps everybody out, helps developers too, and I wish they would work together to make, you know, the framework of development for the consoles a pretty easy thing across the board. I know there's going to be some differences, but let's make them as minimally obstructive for developers as we can.
Yeah, developers definitely like that.
Yeah, the more we can do that, the more we can help them, the better. The more they can just focus on making awesome games and not how to get them to work. You know, excuse me. Apologies, everyone. By the way, I'm either getting over a cold or I'm in the middle of a cold. I'm not sure. Hopefully the latter, or hopefully the former of the two.
I hope you get over it.
So yeah. So anyway. But yeah, and we had a question in Twitch just now. Well, we're going to be doing a preview for Ubisoft here in the next 5 minutes or so. And our predictions for E3, though, will be on June 7th, live on Twitch. We'll have live video of that, and that'll go out as episode 162. So that'll be in a couple weeks. And the nice thing about E3, too, we usually post episodes normally throughout the year, like the day after we record them, occasionally 2 days after. These will all be posted the exact same day. Literally within an hour of after we're done.
No rest for the wicked.
No. So, yeah, we'll be ready to go. But before we get to preview Ubisoft, let's talk about everybody's favorite developer and publisher, and that's Electronic Arts. And this is a story that came out last week. But I think it's still worth talking about. because I think it shows A, something interesting that they're thinking about, but B, just a total missing the point of what's happening at the same time, and only EA can truly pull that off. So, Electronic Arts is thinking about changing its development and release strategy after Anthem's release performance. And so, Steven. Hi, Steven.
Hi.
Graham.
Garbage.
What they're talking about doing is what they're calling soft launches of games. So what that means, because so many games now are doing the thing where it's like that shared experience, shared world experience. It's a live, evolving, living, breathing thing, and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Games as a service, we'll call it. Rather than just buying a game, paying $60 and getting the game, popping the disc, and that's what it is, right? All right. So they're talking about doing what they're calling soft launches, which means that in certain regions, it'll launch first, and then they'll look at, how does the game perform / suck, and how do we need to fix it before we launch it for everyone that has Twitter. So, what do you think about that, Graham? Are you for staggered releases geographically for games?
It's one of those things where everybody wants it at the same time, and why does this person get it before this person? But if it comes out to be a positive thing and it makes it better and we don't have these issues that Anthem's had and other games have had, then, I'd like to say that I'm all for it. But what if it's like, okay, I'm the one who's got to wait 2 weeks, and then meanwhile, like, say you or somebody else is like, oh, they've been playing it and stuff like that. And then it's kind of like when people stream it on Twitch, now they're getting it before other people and stuff like that. But so I don't know.
There's the Graham I know, by the way. Ever the optimist, thinking it would only be 2 weeks difference. Like, if they release that thing and then get it fixed before it goes out to somebody else, you're talking months. You're talking 2 months, not 2 weeks.
Okay, so 2 months, like...
Yeah,
that's a long time.
It is a long time, and you're going to get spoilers. You're going to see it on Twitch. You're going to see it on YouTube streaming and YouTube videos and all this other stuff, right? And
I too many issues.
Yeah. So, great point brought up in chat that we talked about last week, I think, or the week before, where put these games as a service games out in early access first and get it right, and then do a giant launch. And that way, if you're in on early access, you pay maybe $40 instead of $60, so it doesn't hurt so much when you're playing something that's half broken.
Yeah, and then you have a good excuse. It's like, well, it's still in the preview.
But you're part of the solution. Everyone's part of the solution at that point, because you're giving your feedback to them. They're listening and making changes to make it better. Not reactionary, but on the front side, so that when they do their, quote, full launch, it's good, That's what they should be doing. But the other point I want to get to here is, to me, this just shows it's so tone deaf on EA's part, and it's so, I don't understand. Usually I try to find ways to kind of sort of be, maybe just not be as hard on EA. I don't want to say I'm in their corner, but if you think that the problem is how you released Anthem, you don't understand what's wrong with Anthem. Anthem plays great for what there is to do. But Graham, think Graham, if every time I asked you a question, I made you sit there for a minute and 20 seconds, while on Twitch I put up an image of a loading screen. And then you could come and answer it after that. But then, when I ask you a follow-up question, 10 seconds later, you had to do it again.
I'd lose my mind.
Yeah, that's what Anthem is. Right? The gunplay in the game, fantastic. The flying, really fun. The world, beautiful. The loading screens suck.
Yes.
The story is it almost makes Kingdom Hearts 3 look like a literary masterpiece.
And we all know what that is.
And then the end game is just not good. I have no reason to go back to that game. The fact that, at first it didn't bother me, but then I saw it more and more, and I'm with you. People in our community who said it to me. The lack of variety in the guns, all that stuff, that matters too. And for all the crap Sea of Thieves took, they had a whole lot more customization options and variety options available at launch than Anthem did. And they've only gotten better since then. I mean, I'll tell you, like, Sea of Thieves is super fun now. I love it. We did get trolled a little bit last time we played, but it wasn't so bad. But I think they're missing the point in a huge way about why this didn't work. The problem, though, is that EA views success and failure always in terms of dollars and not in feedback. Like, they would never continue, or they would never do early access for a game like this because they'd see the dollars lost. Do you agree, Graham?
Yeah, but they need to look beyond that. Like, it's your reputation, it's your fans, and if you know for certain that you're going to put out a product and people are going to buy it, then isn't that worth, like, just, like, not being that way? I don't get it. Like, to us, it makes sense, but to them, it's like, well, if we sell it for this much instead of this much, then we're going to lose this much. But then what if the next, say, of Anthem 2 comes out and then people are like, nope, not falling for that again? Well, then you're going to lose more money in the long run, but they don't see the big picture. I don't know. That's my take on it.
Yeah, and I think, Graham, like, just on the topic of EA in general, I think people are too hard on EA in some ways sometimes. And I think one of them is Ultimate Team in their sports games. I think people love to blame Ultimate Team for the fact that there aren't like 800 different modes in each of the EA sports games, and there's not like super revolutionary things taking place every year to make the game better. Ultimate Team's not why. Okay? Like, look at NHL, Graham. That's your favorite sports game. It's one of your favorite games, period.
Yes.
Like, this year they added the World of Chill. They added the NHL the ones, right?
Yeah.
They added
3-on-3.
Yeah, 3-on-3. All that stuff. That was all really, really fun. And the customization options went through the roof with that. And they still had Ultimate Team. The thing stopping, in those games isn't Ultimate Team. It's the 1-year development cycle. They can only do so much every year.
Yes.
Madden, for example, like, people like to trash on Madden, and they say Ultimate Team holds the game back and blah, blah, blah. Well, Madden's still, I think, the only franchise that still has connected franchise. MLB got rid of it. To my knowledge, FIFA doesn't have it anymore. I could be wrong on that one, but I know NHL doesn't. So it's not because of Ultimate Team. Ultimate Team is the reason that they still keep some of these games around and they still try to do new things. Madden, we got a single player mode, story mode. It wasn't great, but we got one. NHL, we're rumored to get one this year.
Really?
I don't know if you heard that, yeah.
No, I haven't.
Yep. So we've seen, I think, with the games that come out, with sports games, and I know we've gotten off track here, but the improvements are incremental year by year, and I think you have to look at them in a picture of like 3 years versus 3 to 5 years versus 1 year. And we've seen in Madden, we've seen route running get better. We've seen the catching dynamics get better with the possession catch or the catch on the run or spectacular catch. And then we've seen the defensive parts of the game get better as well. And all that's kind of worked together. Although, Graham, I really would love to see NHL just fix puck pickup. That's my thing with that game. Drives me nuts.
Yeah. Well, it does improve every year, but it hasn't, I'm not going to say perfect because it's never going to be perfect. But it always has its little issue, something like that. But it's come a long way in the last, 3 years maybe. Remember when the physics were sometimes two people be like hitting the puck at the same time or whatever, and then the puck would just shoot down to the other ice and then come around the boards like so fast? It's like, got those physics down, I see.
Do you remember when they didn't have EASHL at all? Because it was a new console generation?
Yes.
You know what that game's called? NHL 21. Graham, so enjoy this year.
Don't say it, man. Don't say it. It's not
So,
happening.
yeah, it's going to happen. Even the best sports game out there, in my opinion, MLB The Show, released in May after the new consoles came out, April or I think it was May, 2 months into the season, because they had to take extra time. So, yeah, NHL. And remember how NHL did it, Graham? Like they announced like a week before the game came out that there's no EASHL in the game.
Yes.
After so many people had pre-ordered it, that was so dirty. And their whole excuse, we worked to the last second to try to get in. BS, you did not.
Yeah, I ain't buying it.
You knew it was going to be in there. Like, no way. You don't send a game gold, 5 days before release. You just don't. Anyway. All right, we're way off track. So let's come
way off track.
Yeah. So anyway, EA,
back.
I think it's just, it's another way EA's just shown that they don't get it. And they're not listening to fans. They're coming up with other excuses based on the money they see on spreadsheets in front of them. And that stuff's valuable to a point. They are running a business. But they have to listen to their fans. Like, so many people are excited for Anthem, including me. And it just sucks that it wasn't what it could have been. All right. Let's talk about Ubisoft at E3.
Yes.
So let's preview them. And they broke my heart this week, but I still love them. It's an abusive relationship that I keep going back for more. But I think we're going to see some good stuff from them. And one thing that's fun about Ubisoft, Graham, is that they're never afraid to just dive into the cringe.
Yes.
Like with the guy taking out the podium.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, and having Aisha Tyler host the show 3 years in a row or whatever, which is 3 years too many.
She wasn't there last year though, was she?
No, she was not. They focused more on developers last year, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
And she's always up there. She was just really awkward and weird. Nothing was as bad as Jamie Kennedy with, this is going back 2008-ish, 2007. And if you've never seen this, audience, if you've never seen it, go Google it, look it up. When he hosted, I don't remember, I think it was Activision maybe. And then he hosted, and he was so hammered. I don't know if it was alcohol. I don't know if it was some substances he was partaking in or a mixture, but he was not all there. He spent the whole time just making fun of video game players.
That's a good place to do it. That's a really good place.
Yeah. So, and then the developers got so sick of him, they started firing back at him. Just, because this is supposed to be their moment, right? It's like their Super Bowl. It's Christmas for video, it's video game Christmas. So, but yeah, go back and watch that. But other than that, and some of the Nintendo ones, Ubisoft has always really embraced that cringy aspect that you see. And it makes it kind of fun. So last year they kicked off, remember, with the whole let's dance into the auditorium type of thing. And that was all happening live, on the streets of LA, where you never quite know what's going to happen. So, and then they danced into the auditorium. We saw that. We saw, a bunch of stuff. We saw Skull and Bones. We saw a lot of stuff for, I keep wanting to say Ghost Recon now, but it's Rainbow Six. Rainbow Six.
Yep.
Yep.
When you also saw Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yep, which I think we have to see that again this year, right?
Oh, yeah, I would say for sure.
No release date, though,
no.
I would imagine.
No, probably not.
So, again, not a prediction. Well, I guess kind of, but I'm not going to count it as an official one. The earliest we see Beyond Good and Evil 2 is 2021. That's my opinion. I think it's that far away.
Yeah, from what they showed, it didn't seem like they're close to being ready or anything like that. So you could be right.
But, Graham, I'll tell you that I've seen some people say that got a chance to go behind closed doors and actually see that game last year. That what we saw in the Ubisoft presser doesn't do it justice. That it is legit one of the best upcoming games there are. Or there is. So,
Interesting.
Yeah, like it's the like I've seen a few people say they'd put it in their top like 3 most anticipated games, and that includes Cyberpunk in that top 3 with it.
Wow.
Like, yeah. So they're saying it looks that good. So I'd love to get a chance to see it this year. Behind closed doors, we'll see if that occurs. And if we do and we can, we'll share it with you. Well, at least what we see. We'll probably be able to share video, but we'll be able to share what we saw.
I'll have a camera. I'll wear like a big hat like Homer did in that one episode with the camera in it.
There you go.
They'll never know. They'll never know a thing.
Yep. So we just saw the new Ghost Recon Breakpoint, right?
Yes.
And every time I hear it, I want to say Point Break, and I don't know why. but anyway, Ghost Recon, and we're going to see a ton of that during their briefing this year, no doubt.
Yes.
And the game's coming out in October, so it's probably their closest launch. But now, Graham, do you think they're going to have another game that's coming out this year? It's got to be at least one, right?
Yes. I don't want to get too deep into predictions, but I think...
No, don't get specific, but...
Okay. Yeah, no, I think there will be one announced, like maybe a sequel to a game they've done before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they're going to show some Rainbow Six Siege.
Yep.
They're still supporting that heavily. I don't think there's going to be a new one of those coming out for a while, because why would you when you're making money off this and you still got like people playing it and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure they'll have something like that. I'm trying to think what other games they might have some DLC for. We did say Watch Dogs 3. I'm sure that's going to be a big one. That's not a prediction because it's pretty much known. It's been known for a while. So, and I think we might see a release date for that one, and it could be late this year or early next year.
I agree. I think really good chance that we see one of the two of either the South Park guys on stage again to talk about wrapping up the trilogy, or
oh yeah,
or we see, and that doesn't mean it'll be out this year or next. I mean that could be like 2025 for all we know, but we'll see them. But the other one I think we could see is Steep.
Yes. Or somewhere along the sign, somewhere along, I don't even know where.
Lines.
Lines.
Yes.
Wow. Words are hard. Yes, somewhere along those lines. I think it's going to be more maybe summer games, like extreme sports.
Okay.
So basically it's like extreme sports. And if they do the mountains and the snow and the skiing thing again, I think that's going to be a misstep on their part. Not saying
so what you're saying, Graham, is that for all the people that so badly just want EA to make the next skate game, that we're gonna get everything but that, right? We're gonna get that sessions game that we saw last year, and then we're gonna get like Steep with some, summertime action sports in there. So we're gonna get everything but the actual skate game.
Basically.
Okay. That definitely sounds like EA. Like, hey, everybody wants this. Screw you. Here's, I mean, if they can do, here's where I will agree with the people who say Ultimate Team, because, it's bad, because Ultimate Team does drive decisions and of what games to make. And I think if there was a way to do Ultimate Team in a skate game, it would have been done by now. So, all right. What else from Ubisoft? They usually put on a pretty good show.
Yeah.
And last year, I thought they actually did a really good job. Thought Beyond Good and Evil 2 looked very good. I thought Skull and Bones looked fantastic.
Oh yeah, that was huge. It's probably they're probably regretting not being able to have Skull and Bones there. Like, I don't know, because it's so far down that they don't want the hype be there. Because I'm sure they could show some kind of video or something like that. So maybe they want to kind of go away and not be in the spotlight because it's 2021. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say that for sure, but
we know there's no Assassin's Creed this year. We know that.
Yeah.
So don't get your hopes up for that. I would also caution everybody, we know there's 4 titles. We know Ghost Recon's one of them. So there's 3 more. I would bet one of them is Watch Dogs. So for the other two, don't get set on the idea that they're all going to be super huge AAA.
Now, would Just Dance fall in that category?
No, it's not. It's not included in that.
Okay.
Because they said unannounced titles, I think.
Yes.
I don't remember. So, anyway. Just Dance is not qualified. But don't expect the ones we haven't heard of yet to be huge AAA things. So, everybody's going to expect these monstrously huge games. We could see something along the lines of like Rabbids or, something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say earlier.
Yeah.
But,
And if not Rabbids, like on the same scale and the same type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think there's a very good chance we see that. But now it takes us to, we're not going to predict yes or no, Graham. We'll leave that because I'm sure somebody's going to have a prediction about it in 3 weeks. But there are the rumors flying that Splinter Cell will be one of those games. And there was a little bit of a Twitter controversy this week involving that, where Ubisoft's CEO, right?
Yeah.
Tweeted out about it, and Ubisoft PR had to come back and be like, no, he's just kidding. You know how he gets.
Yeah.
It seemed very damage control-y to me. But we'll see. We'll see in a few short weeks.
Definitely will. And I kind of agree that too. And I don't know if the whole thing is just like him saying that and then the other guy saying, oh, he's just trolling you or whatever, just messing around. Like overall, maybe they're both messing around with us and it is coming out. So good on them. But now that it's out there and everybody's thinking and everybody's talking to him, if it doesn't come out, a lot of people are going to be like, that's just cruel. So I don't know.
Graham, can you just go to Walmart in Canada and tell them not to ruin the whole damn thing this year?
Yeah, I'll go there. I'll go there tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll go to the highest up and I will tell them.
Wasn't it right around this time last year that happened?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I would say.
So. All right. Anyway, that does it for our E3 preview at Ubisoft. And, next week we'll talk about Nintendo. Steven will be back. Steven and Graham are probably the two most excited for that one.
The big end.
Yep. They'll have their direct again, which will probably be very good. I thought last year they maybe spent a little too much time on one game, but, it was fine. It was good. And, we'll talk about what we expect to see from them this year at E3. All right. That does it for news, everybody.
Now
let's head into releases. We'll start with Xbox. You can get Team Sonic Racing on the 21st, The Last Door Complete Edition on the 22nd, and American Fugitive on the 24th. Games with Gold. The Marooners you can still get through the 30th. The Golf Club 2019 starting, I think, today through the 31st. And if you're a fan of golf video games, this is very much a simulation game. It's not arcadey. It's not that forgiving, but it is fun. That's through the 31st. Cosmic Jumper also through the 31st via backwards compatibility. Steven, Graham, what can we get on PlayStation?
Okay, so on PlayStation, you can also get Team Sonic Racing on the 21st. And one of my favorites, that's not true, I'm lying, don't believe me, and that is Killing Floor double feature. Yay. That is on the 21st.
Graham,
what?
Why did you not like that game?
I don't. I thought it was stupid. Maybe that's the Steven game was stupid. No, I just didn't enjoy it. It was kind of like a zombie horde thing to keep coming at you, mow it down, and I don't know.
But it had Christmas music and it had Krampus.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not enjoy that? It was the holiday time. It was time to have the holiday spirit. And you went Grinch on the whole thing, Graham.
I totally did.
All right. Keep going.
I don't regret who I am. And then also on the 21st, you can get Slay the Spire. Now, this is something I'm not used to, saying what free games you get per month, but Nintendo you do through Nintendo Online, but we won't go into that. So let's stick to PS Plus games. You can get What Remains of Edith Finch and also Overcooked. So let's throw this over to Graham for Nintendo. Well, thank you, Graham. Yes. So for Nintendo releases on May 21st, you can also get Team Sonic Racing. So on all systems, Not cross-platform yet, maybe in the future. And then also on the 21st, I'm going to list off a few games because I figured why would I pick one Resident Evil when clearly the best one is Resident Evil 4, but that's a debate for later. But you can get Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 4 HD, Resident Evil Origins Collection, and that is the 21st, like I said. And then as
You
well,
mean oranges?
oranges,
Graham?
yeah,
Yeah.
the oranges collection. We got tangerines, no. So finally, on the 21st, you can get Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered. So I think there's some pretty solid games there from Nintendo Switch. Recommend Assassin's Creed 3 and Resident Evil 4. And that's
So
it.
tell me, community, correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a huge, clamoring for Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered? I'm really curious because that's the one game I played and I was just like, I'm not feeling it.
Oh, really?
And I love that period of history. So for me to not love that it took something, and I just wasn't feeling it at all. I much prefer the more recent games to that. But, if you think I'm wrong, tell us,
Yes.
gaminghubpodcast@gmail.com, or leave a comment on Twitch.
Never hesitate to tell Tyler he's wrong, or Steven, or me.
So
Can't be right all the time.
I just want to see what people love about it, because it's okay to love it. Like, nothing wrong with that. That's awesome. I just want to know what you love about it. So, all right. With that, let's go into questions, and I'll play the role of Steven for questions.
Fan mail.
Okay.
We'll start with Revan54. What game have you beat the most times through, and how many times? How many times is too many times?
So for me, there's not a lot of games that I've went through. I'm trying to think. The one I probably went through most was probably like Super Mario World. And is there such thing as too many? Not really. If you're still enjoying it and stuff like that, even though there's other games that you could be playing that you've never played, but as long as you're enjoying it, keep on going, keep on rocking in the free world, play that game over and over. But as far as the only thing I can think about, the game that I went through and beat again, would be Super Mario World. If I think of anything else, I'll let you know before we're done here.
Okay. For me, it's probably either Halo C or Halo 2.
Yeah.
One of those two. As far as too many, there is no such thing as too many. If you love it, play it. I mean, Graham would say that there's a such thing as seeing a movie too many times, and I would disagree.
Yeah, like twice. No.
Are you saying that 200 times is too many?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, that's fair. I mean, we can all see things differently. So, no, I mean, seriously, like, if you love a game, man, and you want to play it, and it makes you happy, play it. It's what it's there for. I mean, if it makes you more happy to play that than play something new, do it. All day. So, maybe not all day. You got to sleep and maybe work or something, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Spedis asked, if you could recommend any 3 franchises as staples for every gamer to try at least once, which 3 would you pick? Now, Graham, before I turn this to you, I'm not sure if he means like a new gamer or an experienced gamer. I'm going to go with I'm going to take out the new gamer handicap. So it doesn't have to be really accessible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'd like to take from each console if I could, but so I'm gonna go with Legend of Zelda. Those are great. The God of War. I'm a huge fan of God of War. And okay, so the other one is not a console exclusive, but I'm gonna say Fallout, and a close one would be also Tomb Raider. And I might have missed one, so don't judge me. But right now, that's my answer.
Okay. So I will say Uncharted. And I will say Mario. Graham, what do you think my third one's going to be?
Halo.
You are incorrect. Because here's the thing, like with shooters, at some point they all just go pew pew pew, you know? Like at some point all the shooters are the same. The Halo story is fantastic and
BioShock.
I love it. No, it's not BioShock, it's World of Warcraft.
What?
Because that game has, and there was a time, Graham, where I played World of Warcraft till like 3 in the morning. And now granted that was like 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
But there was a time when that occurred.
I tried it once for maybe a half an hour to an hour, and I never ever played it again.
But Graham, I think that game was so instrumental to gaming in general. I think that game helped bring gaming into the mainstream. Do you remember when World of Warcraft would run the commercials where they have like celebrities that have World of Warcraft accounts? You know, like it was back in, I don't know, 2006, 7, 8-ish time.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. But they did, and
I believe you.
yeah. And it helped bring gaming into mainstream where we are today. It's influential on so many games that we see today in how games are played. That shared world, games as a service type thing, right? And I just, I think you got to experience kind of where all that came from to appreciate the advances that we made. So I think those three go a long way. I think, PlayStation and Naughty Dog excel in storytelling. Despite like Naughty Dog, I mean, I know it's a super unpopular opinion. I don't think their gunplay is all that good. Their shooting mechanics are all that good, but their storytelling is phenomenal through and through. And Mario's Mario. It's one of the most iconic game franchises ever, and the most important game franchises ever. And then I could almost say the same for World of Warcraft. All right. Rumham asks, if you were going to do a podcast that wasn't about games, what would you want to talk about?
Oh, mine would 100% be music. Music
really?
has
Okay.
been a huge part of my life, and I can go on about bands and band members and that for a long time.
Mm-hmm. So Graham,
easily.
aside from, let everybody get to know you a little bit. Aside from Nickelback, who is your favorite band of all time?
Oh! See, I can't even dignify that with an answer because that be dignifying your question.
By the way, everybody, we've already got Nickelback playlists set for Bluetooth in the car.
Wow.
Going from the airport to the Airbnb.
I'm glad you told me that so I can invest in some earplugs. Or no, noise canceling headphones. There we go.
Nope. Not allowed.
They're just gonna be like the Bluetooth buds, and I'm gonna wear a toque because I'm from Canada and we wear toques all the time. So you can't attack me on
June in Los Angeles. It's gonna be like 80 degrees.
Yeah, but that's my style.
Uh-huh.
So no Nickelback. I'll jump into the car.
So seriously, I think a lot of our like really dedicated, long-time listeners know who your favorite band is, but share with everybody.
Well, I have a top 3, so I'll go with my top 3.
Okay.
It's Metallica, Tool, and Pink Floyd. Tool and Pink Floyd is a little toss-up between them. I have a lot of honorable mentions. You can ask me later, but I can go on. But there's so many great bands. They've been my top 3 for a long time. It's a band where I can listen through any album all the way through, front to back, no problem, anytime.
Okay. J-Buzz asked, favorite superhero? Yeah.
Favorite superhero? My mom. No.
Yeah, Mother's Day was last week, and you don't have to say that anymore.
I know, that would be a good Mother's Day one.
It would.
My favorite superhero? I'm going to go with Batman, just because he doesn't have superpowers, and like he just does it all himself, and he doesn't need to be an alien or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like his
style. All right, so you took my answer. Batman's always been my favorite. I'll tell you so let me ask this, Graham. Let's turn it. So who's your least favorite, like most boring superhero? And don't go with like some obscure one. It's gotta be one of the big ones.
Can I say Green Lantern?
Yeah, I guess.
Because I really don't know much about him. I know he carries a lantern around. Doesn't sound that exciting to me.
Okay. Mine is actually Superman.
Really?
Yeah, because Superman to me is not compelling. He's too pure. He's too like truth, justice, American way type of thing, and he's not flawed in any way, and there's only one way to really hurt him, and somehow that's always conveniently available, even though it's from across the universe. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not compelling. Like, there's so many ways to get to Batman and impact him, because Batman's a super flawed character to begin with. And I could even argue that Captain America is a much more flawed character than Superman.
Yeah, I see that.
Because I can actually make the argument that in Civil War, Graham, Captain America was wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make that argument, right? So, but yeah, I would definitely go with Batman. Always been my favorite. Always will be. Okay. All right. Who among us, asked Mortem Gaming, who among us has the worst poker face? And we'll know this like in person, I guess, in a few weeks. But for now,
We've never seen each other's face.
not in person. For now, like who's the easiest to get riled up?
I can say
Quickly.
Steven.
Yeah, he is. He's we'll sometimes just say something just to get him going. So, yeah. And I do feel like he wears his emotions much more on his sleeve. And that's fine. So, he's going to think we're like picking on him here. We're not. We're really not.
Yeah.
All right. You know, Graham, I'm going to ask it because every week it seems like we get like a desert island question and like, whatever. I'm just going to ask. Nick asks, if we were trapped on an island and had to eat one of us, two of us had to eat the other one to survive, who would it be? And since he's not here, this will be picking on him. I'm going to say Steven.
I'm going to agree with you too. Yes.
All right.
For my own sanity more than anything.
Okay.
I like there'd probably be like a crate of food over there still, and I'm like, well, I'll just save that for later.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to try to find us one more because we can't end on that. Okay, here we go. This is actually a good gaming question. All right. With the release of the Xbox SAD having their price point kind of miss the mark, how much faith do you have in the pricing of Microsoft's new consoles? And what do you think the final cost will be for consumers? So I think we've hit on the price point we predict, right? How much we think it might be. I think we kind of range between $500 and $600.
Yeah.
For that Anaconda, right? The super high powered one.
Yeah.
I think Steven speculated it might be as high as 700, which I would be really disappointed in, but I could see somehow happening.
Yeah.
Now's a part program where how confident are you, given what they charge for the SAD? How confident are you that they're going to get the price points right on this one?
I think they will, and like if they're gonna be charging $700, like to me, wow. When you say that, it's like that's not that bad, but I convert that to Canadian, it's like wow, that's really expensive.
Yeah.
And
it sure
like
is.
I currently own an Xbox One X. Like it's gonna be really hard for me to justify spending that kind of money to it'd probably be a substantial upgrade, but it's not a mind-blowing
Yes, it will be. Yes, it will.
A mind-blowing upgrade.
Yeah, because it, by all accounts, the highest Xbox the best Xbox console is going to be the best console on the market that we've ever seen.
Yeah, but
the PS5 is going to be significantly better than the X.
Yes,
and the new Xbox will be better than the PS5. By what we've heard. Now, I'm not stating that as a fanboy. I'm just saying by what we've heard.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be significantly better. Graham, you know you're going to buy it.
Don't
you know you are.
If I have the money, maybe. But I'm not going to go broke over it. Let's put it that way.
All right. I doubt it's going to break you.
I'll be content with my One X.
Here's where I stand on it. I have a little bit of confidence because we keep saying like, oh, they'll do the right thing this time. But we keep saying that. And then, we say it the next time and the next time. This will be the time that they get it right. They've learned from their mistakes. I'm not so sure about that. I think the right thing to do is charge $500 for it. I think I can easily see them charging $600. I don't think they'd go as high as $700. I really don't.
No.
Like $700 is the PS3 charged $600 for the 80 gig hard drive edition in 2006. And I think to go any higher than that would be a problem. So I think you keep it there at the most, but I think the smart play is to do it at 500. That's just me. All right. Anything else, Graham, before we get out of here?
No.
Okay.
I could pick a fight, but I'm not gonna pick a fight. We're good.
Why are we picking a fight?
No. It's good. No, I can say. You say your spiel and.
Okay. So, all right. That, everybody, is it for questions, and that's going to do it for episode number 159. And we'll be back next week with episode 160, Graham, which means E3 is almost here. So...
just around the corner.
Yeah, it is. Before we take off, though, we'd love to have you join the community on Facebook, the Gaming Hub forums there, on Twitch, TXH Gaming Hub on Twitch. From either of those places, you get a link to our Discord. Join there, take part in the conversation, have a good time with the rest of the community, which has grown a ton in the last year. We anticipate growing even more once E3 hits, so please come be part of that. If you want to help support the community, we'd love to have you do that. Head on over to Twitch, like I said, TXH Gaming Hub. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you get a free Twitch Prime sub to use every single month. If you choose to spend that on us, we'd really, really appreciate that. It helps us get better equipment, do better content, and do better giveaways for our community. If you don't want to go through Twitch, but still want to help support us, you can go to Patreon, patreon.com/gaminghub. For as little as $2 a month, you get exclusive content. Like, we're going to have a ton of content for E3. We're going to have, we've been doing Game of Thrones specific episodes for patrons, things like that, and movie reviews, things like that. That should get timed exclusivity too for $2 a month. For as low as $5 a month, you get all of that plus at least one entry monthly into a giveaway just for patrons, which we'll be doing next week here on the show for $60 in gift cards to the console of your choice. All right, Graham, that's going to do it for episode 159. We'll be back next week with 160. Until then, have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take care, everyone. Love you, Steven.
Miss you, Steven. Bye.
Bye.